Okay guys, I'm back. Took me about 45 minutes to get everything set up. I've got my pane open. I have a work light. I actually brought a fan out and put it on the ladder because I don't know what the humidity is. I think it's supposed to be 88 degrees today. I don't know, but it feels pretty sticky. And working in oil paint, I definitely want that to dry. I don't know what the full dry time is, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to paint it out and maybe second coat it this evening so that it's finished. And again, I told you I'm going to try to get into these things on the wall today too. So I don't know, let me see how far I get. But what I wanted to show you is how to use those little cut brushes that I love so much. Here's my little cut brush. I don't know if this is Worcester or you know who it's made by. There are a couple of different companies that have those flexible brushes, but I'll show you why I love them. Hold on, let me get my glove on. I always work with gloves on because it gives me a better grip. All right, and I'm just gonna stand right on this. It's well reinforced. I was gonna do this in kind of a smooth sponge brush, but I decided to go with a smaller roller with a nab because this is not going to be covered well with a smooth sponge. This would, but that would not. So I'm thinking rather than have two different textures in here, that's the best way to do it. All right, so what I love about this, see the angle? You just push that angle right into there. And let it ride along the wall. Now, you know what I'm noticing? Now there's a little bit of a gap there, so I have, this is gonna get a trim piece too, so I'm not worried too much about it. But what I'm noticing here, I probably should have sanded the surface of this wall because it's not overly forgiving. Actually, I'm gonna start in this corner, I think. I don't know how well you guys can see. And again, this is getting a trim piece. But whenever you're doing an interior wall, this makes for a really nice cut brush because of the angle on it. And it's so flexible. If you were trying to do this with a really stiff brush, it would be horrible. But it looks like the pine's really accepting the oil. So I'm thinking by the time I start to roll this out, it should be really pretty. So hopefully I'll get away with 2 coats in here. Oil dry time is just forever. Now I'll probably pre-paint the trim. I'm not sure what we're gonna put in here for trim, but I'll pre-paint it so that it just has to be stapled up. And then I'll come back and get the staples if the staples show. If they don't show very much, I'll probably just leave it. All right. Now, when I'm trimming this out, it's getting the same color. I'm gonna have to come through and hit all of these deeper parts, which is the same thing that I had to do on the duck house yesterday because it has shiplap on it. And even though I'm gonna come back and roll this, I'll probably just hit it real quick to make sure that I don't have any high points of, you know, pooled. You see how it's a little thicker right here? I want to knock that down so it doesn't get goopy and nasty. But this should roll pretty quickly. And I think I'm just gonna roll the front. Again, if this were an interior space, you know, inside the house, it's a duck house, it's out in the woods, I would fill all these little all those little screw holes. Well, do you see how tacky that is already? It's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing it's gonna dry quickly because it's warm out here. It's a bad thing because sometimes the tack is from the humidity. So that's the fan. I wanna keep the air moving. Plus, it's oil paint, it's a small space, it's unventilated, and you know, I can keep the door open, but if the air is just hovering in here, you know, it's gonna be overwhelming. So I'm gonna get this painted out and I'll show you what it looks like.